United States originally wasn't involved with World War II, and they wanted to stay isolated. In 1941, Japan had forced the Americans to become involved when they bombed Pearl Harbor. This was an act of revenge for the embargoing of Japanese goods. Many months of preparations would follow this event before the Allies and newly included Americans would attack the fierce enemy.
D-Day, also known as Operation Overlord, would be the Allies' first plan of attack against the enemy. Allied planners had to find a place that would be close enough to ship supplies and troops and for the Allied bombers to reach. Scientists studied charts and books about Normandy's beaches and asked for photos of Normandy to learn the layout of the land. Originally planned for June 5th, but due to weather conditions, it was postponed 24 hours. The Allies were going to attack the French north coast. 3 divisions of paratroopers would fall behind the beaches of Normandy to distract the enemy, while other soldiers stormed the beaches. The British and Canadians were to attack the beaches of Sword, Juno, and Gold. The Americans were to hit Omaha and Utah Beach. The land attacks would be supported by aerial and naval support. Fortunately, the Germans thought the Allies were going to attack at Pas de Calais, and that's where they chose to fortify. The first objective was to liberate France by the means of a cross-channel mass attack.
At 2 a.m. June 6, 1944, American and British paratroopers landed behind enemy lines. At 6:30, the first landing ships had touched the French shores. The landings at Juno, Gold, Sword, and Utah Beach were successful, but the landings at Omaha Beach were not what was expected. As Nazi machine gun nests were blazing, ships were overflowing and soldiers were drowning due to heavy packs and lots of gear.
The thing that still troubles me is the weight that those guys had to carry. You know, I mean, a lot of guys, when they got off the landing craft, you know, might be water up to their chest. If they step into a shell hole, you know, they would just disappear because the weight of some of them carrying 60, 70 pounds. And the weight of them would just keep them down, and that troubled me. There were those with special assignments that had to carry, you know, additionally, but I mean, we had extra uniforms and things like that. What do you need that for? Get on the beach first, you know what I mean?
At the end of the first day of the Normandy invasion, 156,000 men had landed on the shores of Normandy and had suffered a total of 2,500 casualties. The Allied army had sparked the beginning of the end for the brutal Nazi regime.
Despite their many losses on the first day of the invasion, the Allied troops had to push onward toward Germany. Their next objective was to set up ports to bring in more supplies and troops. More fierce fighting would follow for months at a time.
So George and I got these 14 prisoners, and we tell them to form up in a column of twos, you know, to march them back. And while we're doing that, there was a big open field to our right. And here we could see 2 of our tanks coming toward us, you know. We thought, boy, good for us. Mm-hmm. The only problem is that we didn't realize what they saw was a German vehicle. And maybe 12, 14 German soldiers, and 2 GIs are going to see. And so they pulled right in the woods. Wasn't more than about, I'd say about 40 feet. The end of the woods was no more about 40 feet. And those 2 tanks pulled up right at the edge of the woods, you know. And they just opened fire. And the boy always hit the ground. And they just sprayed, and they would fire the cannon, you know, the 76, and the trees would just shatter over us, and the snow would come down on us. And one of the Germans tried to get away, and George had to hang on to him physically, and then it would stop. But then somebody would move, and then they'd start firing again. And finally, our good friend of ours, he left the group, the company, and he came out and ran around behind the tanks. And they have telephones in the back of the tanks, you know. And he yelled into them, there are GIs in there, you know. But they said that they never expected anybody to get up alive out of that rotten mess.
The invasion of Normandy was vital to the victory for the Allies. But in the end, it all came down to the soldiers on the battlefield. This was a military triumph due to the willpower of the soldiers to fight till the end.
But see, since I came in D+10, the immediate fighting was, you know, for the beach was over and they pushed inland. But, well, everybody was excited. In fact, we were disappointed that we weren't among the D-Day, you know.
Really?
Oh yeah, we felt put out. Yeah, we were disappointed. Boy, we thought they couldn't do it without us, you know. But we were sort of put out that we weren't part of it. Well, I think there was, because there was great optimism because of what they were told, which didn't turn out to be accurate.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they said between the naval bombardment and the bombing, the aircraft attacks, that the beach would be, quiet, and that was so wrong.